Welcome to the Redondo Beach Center for Spiritual Living Wednesday morning service. Welcome to all of you on YouTube. We're so glad you joined us this morning. Have a great seat where you are at home. Make yourself comfortable and let the comments flow because we love to hear from you. And welcome to all of you who are here in person. We get the hugs for those of you who are in person, so that's good too. I'm Reverend Gregory Toole. I want to open us with prayer. So let's turn within for a moment here. And so we just recognize in this perfect moment of now, that one life, that one power, that one presence that is in all, through all, as all. All of life is one and connected. We are connected with it all. We are connected with the divine. We are connected with the source right at the center of our being. We are a center of infinite consciousness right within our own being. And it is from this place that I bless our time here today, knowing it is so perfect on so many levels. Every person receives exactly what they are here to receive, what is the highest for them, so much so that it's like, wow, this was my own personalized service. They were talking right to me. And the whole group receives exactly what it is to receive. And there's a beautiful dance taking place here today where some healing medicine comes forth because Spirit is in the house. Spirit is within each one of us. Spirit is within our speaker, Reverend Kathryn McKinney, and something beautiful and wonderful is unfolding today. I am grateful, and I just let it be. And so it is. Amen. Thank you, Elise Carver, for playing music for us today here. Hey. I was thinking while you were playing, I want to just channel you one day. I'll just sit down at the keyboard, and my fingers will be moving like your fingers, and I'll just be playing. I have no idea what I'm doing, though. Welcome to all of you again. So, announcements. Let's see. This Friday, May 16th at 6 p.m., we have our concert and dance party with the Soundscape Orchestra. So join us for that. Also, this Sunday, coming up this Sunday, I, Reverend Gregory Toole, will be giving a workshop called Fear to Faith. And it's a workshop to reground our faith during times of change. I did it with the practitioners a couple weeks ago, and it was really powerful with them. So I look forward to doing it with the whole congregation this Sunday. So please join us for that. It's a very experiential workshop. So it won't be one of those where you come and you'll hear like a talk or a message. It'll be totally experiential. I take you through some guided meditations, and you are coming in and out, writing down your answers. And then at the end, you get a tailored spiritual practice to take home to support you during these times and whatever these times mean for you. So join us on Sunday for that. Also, I will be teaching a class, certificated class called the Essential Earnest Homes. That starts on Thursday, June 5th. It's an 8-week class, and it does count toward practitioner training prerequisites. Some of you are actually collecting those classes and getting ready and getting lined up to start with advanced consciousness studies and then perhaps practitioner studies. I'm so excited about that. We have if you remember Tim Ringgold, who came here and did an afternoon workshop with us a couple Sundays ago, he has a fuller retreat right here at the center. It'll be on May 31st, Saturday, May 31st all day, and then it'll be Sunday, June 1st, the next day, for about 4 hours after service. Only 20 spots are available, so if you want to go deeper with Tim Ringgold in this healing grief through music, check out the flyer at the activity table. And I mentioned people being ready. Are you perhaps ready to go to the next level with classes? Join myself, Reverend Gregory, and practitioner Monica Ruth for an information session on what is required to enter advanced consciousness studies, as well as requirements for entering practitioner studies. That will be on Thursday, May 22nd at 6 p.m. Join us, even if you're just curious to see what that path is about, even if you're just at the beginning. Like you could join us and see like, oh, if I wanted to be on that path, what would that look like? Also, for all of you who are new, especially to the community, there is a free discovery class on May 25th after service. Great way to get all your questions answered about us, Center for Spiritual Living, what the teaching is, the philosophy, the organization, the history, and any questions you have. So we're going to be doing that once a quarter because we have a lot of new people coming in. So for all the new people, it's like, okay, we can get up to speed on what is this all about here? An invitation to learn why you need a shoebox and what you should put in it. Join Reverend Kathy Sinfield for an informal chat about a most important topic of our developing care ministry, which is getting your affairs in order. For those you eventually, it may not be for 50 years, but we know eventually we'll leave here. And so let's get organized with our shoebox so that we really take care of our loved ones that we leave behind. Join us on Sunday, June 1st, after service. Is on a love offering basis, and learn, get some really practical skills about sort of how to put your affairs in order. We are looking for able-bodied fun, it says. You got to be fun. If you're not fun, don't even forget it. Can't be part of this team. We're looking for fun, able-bodied volunteers who can help us set up in Richelieu Hall for events. We often need to call on people to help us move chairs and tables, and it's sporadic, and we'll call you in advance, and it's usually about an hour at a time, and you just get to hang out with some good folks and make a difference. And so if that's you, if you've got some flexibility with your time and your will, and you've got a little bit of strength, you don't have to be real strong, the chairs aren't real heavy, then sign up, and we'll be happy to have you on the list and call you when we have those opportunities. This one's not as fun of an announcement here. It's called Beware of Scammers. We are aware that sometimes scammers attempt to impersonate others to extract money. Please know that we will never ask you for money or credit card information in an email, a text, or on social media. Before responding to an email from us, please make sure it is from redondocsl.org. And if you have any questions about that, then just call us at the office. Call us at the front desk. And the most recent one was someone reached out to our treasurer and said, Reverend Gregory told me to contact you about paying this $50,000 invoice. I'm like, I have never heard of this person. Do not pay it. So, there are there are us who are on a conscious path, and then there are those who aren't there yet. We bless them, we pray for them, and we also beware of them. Our drumming circle will be happening on Sunday, June 25th, or May 25th, rather, at 12:30 p.m. after service. Our men's support group will meet Monday, June 2nd at 7 p.m. right here in the lobby. Also, we're very excited, and thank you to Elise for helping organize that. We're very excited to have renowned New Thought musician Jamie Lula in concert on Sunday, June 22nd after service. Flyers are at the activity table. You can go on YouTube and kind of check him out, see what he's doing. We're going to put a little link in the e-newsletter this week that will take you to one of his performances at Mile High Church in Denver, so you can see what he's all about. Very soulful, beautiful person and musician. We have a new divine dining event on Wednesday, June 25th. It's called a high tea party. Anyone want to do high tea? With artist and teapot collector Cynthia Joyce. It'll be at her studio and gallery in her home in Manhattan Beach. They can accept 8 to 12 guests with an opening bid of $35. Bidding closes on June 22nd. See the flyers out there. Our Sunshine Kids Club has an email newsletter. You can sign up whether you have children or not. You can just go to the front desk, give them your email address, and they'll keep you up to date on everything happening in the youth church. Check out our Innerlight bookstore and gift shop. Got lots of good things in there. And for a full list of activities, see our weekly e-newsletter, Spirit Speaks magazine, and the activity table. A big thank you, last but not least, a big thank you to all of our wonderful volunteers. We appreciate you all so much, and that is no truer statement could be said. We really appreciate all those who be in service to our community. Okay. At the end of 2 pages of announcements here. That's what happens when you get so much good stuff going on, you know. So without further ado, I want to bring forth our wonderful guest speaker, not guest speaker, she's been here longer than me, our wonderful speaker for today, Reverend Kathryn McKinney. Let's give her some love. And Elise, are you going to sing? Yeah, come on up here, Kathryn, have a seat. Come on up and have a seat there, Kathryn, yeah.
I'll get out of her life.
Yeah, get out of her, yeah. Sorry, this is new. This is a new gift to have Elise in here.
Oh, you're so kind. Thank you.
All right. This song is called No Mud, No Lotus by the wonderful Bob Seema. No mud, no lotus. Haven't you noticed the patterns of pain in your past? The things that broke you, they also awoke you with the questions you needed to ask. The sleepless nights and the dizzying heights and the dreams, some of which came true. Till the breaks, heartaches, perfect mistakes, they created this version of you. And everything you go through grows you, grows you. And everything you go through grows you, exposes who you are. If it hurt, it made you softer. If it was hard, it fueled the hunger. If it touched you, your heart took hold. If it was simple, it made you wise. If it was sweet, it made you smile. It weaved an indelible impression upon your soul. Your feet, they walked, and your lips, they talked, and your hands dug around for the proof. Every look, every book, picture in your mind that you took created this version of you. Oh, and everything you go through, it grows you. It grows you. And everything you go through, it grows you. Exposes the roots of an endless summer, part-time, temporary lovers, and the swoon of a deep blue sky. And as the time flew by, you planted and gathered your truth as it passed before your eyes. And the wound is where the light gets in, revealing the masterpiece just beneath the skin. In the glow of your own light, your petals open up wide and you bloom right where you are. Oh, and everything you go through, it will grow you. It grows you, and everything you go through, it grows you. Expose you, and everything you go through, it grows you. It grows you, and everything you go through, it grows you. Exposes who you are.
We are so blessed to have the wonderful, wonderful Elise Carver. Really, it's just an amazing thing. And I'm so glad she's here with us now. And so keep in mind that Elise, among the many things she does, we have a great choir. And so any of you who have the urge to sing, my gosh, talk with Elise and you can join the choir. You may even have opportunities to sing like this because she's very generous with the time. She's wonderful in every way. So as we take a breath and plunge into the talk that is part of today's service, I chose as the topic, know the truth, then react. And I actually struggled with the topic, meaning the words of the topic, for a bit, because I was conflicted about exactly how to say something succinctly, because I like short titles of topics. And once I recognized that there really is two parts to what I'm saying, I could do it that way. So it's about knowing the truth and then the reaction part. So what is the truth when we know the truth? We know the truth, which is that God is all there is. There is creation. We are part of, one with creation. We are an individual point in creation, and all of us points are equal in every way. That's the truth. But then understanding that truth, that is what the first part is about. So I'm sharing with you one of Ernest Holmes' quotes. And so I wanted to get it right. And he says, "The mind spirit which we find in ourselves is as much of the original creative God as we understand." And see, that's really it. As much as we understand. And that is something that I have been thinking about really over the last few weeks, which is really partly what led me to wanting to talk about that in this conversation. If you are familiar with the fourth section of the Science of Mind textbook, How It Works, he talks a lot about that very concept in great detail. And if you get a chance, you might reread that, even though you may have read it 3 or 4 times. Quite frankly, I don't know how many times I read it, but I did a talk once on that 4th section, and I found myself going, oh my gosh, I hadn't completely registered with one particular part of it. And that's really the fact that we can only know and embody and practice and do what we understand. And in that section, he is quoting the Bible, the Hebrew Bible, when he says, "The law of the Lord is perfect." And that's from Psalms 19. The law of the Lord is perfect. And then he goes on to quote what Jesus said in Matthew when he said, "Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall not pass away." And that is what Jesus said. And so what Ernest Holmes is saying is we must believe these words as a fact. And what he's saying is that it's our level of understanding the words. The world is perfect. The law of God is perfect. So why is it that we perceive imperfection? And of course, the perception is within us, how we perceive, hear, understand. Mark Ruth did a workshop, I think it was last Saturday, on Stop, Look, and Listen. Maybe some of you all were there. And I was not there. I was doing something else. But I do understand that just because we hear something, we don't listen. We hear word sounds, but we don't really listen. And much less do we ponder and understand. But we also see many things, but we don't truly see all of those things. Do you understand that we are supposed to see about 1 billion images a day? And if you went home and spent an hour writing down what you remember seeing, how many do you think you'd get? Well, not 1 billion. And yet your eye, if we're talking about that scientific function, saw billions. And of course, if we heard everything, and if we saw everything, we'd be overwhelmed. So our consciousness, that individual point of expression of God that we are, picks and chooses according to our understanding. Well, it's the same thing with the truth. The same thing is true. There are things that we know are true in some way or form, but we don't necessarily follow it. On Monday, I was playing in our front yard with my grandchildren who were still here. They were playing with toys. And my granddaughter, who's about 3.5, had some things arranged around her. And she was playing. I'm holding a couple of them. My grandson, who's a toddler, toddled over, and he picked up one of them. Well, she was enraged, and she shoved him. Annie, why did you push your brother? 'Cause he was taking my toys. Annie, what is the rule? Don't push your brother. What happens when you break the rule? I get a timeout. And so she got a timeout. Now, does Annie know the rule? She absolutely does. She absolutely knows the rule and knows the consequences. But it didn't stop her from pushing him. Because we have emotional reactions which overcome whatever rules that we may understand, that all people are created equal. Everyone is entitled to our respect. Everyone is entitled to express their point of view. And yet, we find ourselves emotionally attached to something and we react. And that's that second part of what's going on. And so the idea that we can pick and choose what we're doing and the rules that we follow absolutely doesn't stop when you're 3. I break rules. I break rules all the time, and I do them on purpose. I absolutely do. So I'm just being honest. I'm not asking you to raise your hand, but I believe you do too, because I speed. I've certainly been known to speed. We had a minister here once who was Reverend June Haskell. If she told me she never did speeding, I would have believed her, because she always stops at stop signs 3 seconds before she got all that. She got a ticket once, and that was the last one she intended to get. So, but most of us test the limits of those rules. We know the boundaries, but we break them. I do it all the time. Now, just as Annie has consequences, we all do. Sometimes we may feel that we've avoided consequences, but then things happen to us. We go, what was the question that Reverend Gregory talked about? Why is this happening to me? Well, those are the consequences. Those are the consequences. We violated some boundary. We did something, and we don't have to know what that is. But when stuff happens to us, it's not happening outside of us. See, that's the truth. The truth is that there is a Christ consciousness within us that has this plan for us to move forward. And when we ignore that, when we don't do that, when we are, I don't really, then consequences. I've had some consequences I absolutely didn't like. The one thing I can tell you is that even as they were happening to me, I knew that it was not something outside of me. Now, I am not above having my moments of, what did Reverend Gregory called it? Conscious something. That's it. Okay, but because I called mine something else. I call it temporary whining. And I mean that literally. I remembered a time, and I even spoke to Beverly Conover about it a couple of Sundays ago. She doesn't remember, but I was upset about something. I certainly don't remember what. And so I went to her desk. She was the administrator. And I stood in front of her, and I said, I have something I have to whine about. And I even took a couple of steps back. And I whined, and I whined, and I whined for a minute or so. I said, okay, I'm done. And so that was my temporary whining, just needing to get it out. So it's not like we have to suffer with our whining and being that feeling where we are. We can get it out of our system and then get on with our lives. We don't live, we do not have to live in that victim consciousness, that first kingdom. But feeling what we feel is legitimate. And so we all need to understand that it's legitimate. So I was reading about being in the world, and I was remembering something that I had read from, his name is David Walker. He was one time president of RSI back when the two halves of Centers for Spiritual Living were different halves. And he was president. He was also a senior minister. And he said something about, he said, every time that you take a stand on something, when you take a stand in life, that you want to recognize that when you say how you feel and how you want to be, things are happening in the world, and there is a conscious reaction to what happens. See, it happens for a reason. We live in the world. We can't ignore what is happening around us. If it were within the center and there was a lot of kerfluffle, we wouldn't ignore it. Some people might, okay, I'm just leaving because I don't want to deal with that. And that is an option. But if you care about the world, and you care about this center, and you care about your family, whatever the kerfluffle is, and you do care on some level, then you want to find a way to respond while you know the truth. And you get to decide what that level is, what that truth is. And what is the truth? The truth is that we all really are one. And we don't like that sometimes. We don't even think that sometimes. That each of us is important, equally important. And I was teaching the course called Consciousness and the Creative Process. And we were going through how Troward got to think the way he thought. One of the places that he came to is that when he's developing how man has evolved to a certain point, he's saying that at some point we have to understand that we are part of this bigger picture. We have to know that we are not the only one. We are the only one for ourselves, but we belong to something greater, bigger. And so it is with the world. I cannot control the world. I can't control anyone in the world. Who can I control? Me. I can control me. I can't control any one of you. And each of you has dominion and control over you. You always do, even when it feels like you don't. When you've lost yourself and you have to have a temporary whining, then take a temporary whining. But then come back to yourself and know that I am this perfect child of God, and there is a way for me to respond. I may not know how to respond, but I know that when I know that I do, that God shows me the way. And I get quiet and I look at that. We are a part of a teaching that is quite ancient, actually. It goes back to the early Greeks. The early Greeks figured out with their own consciousness so many truths that we have come to understand now. It's absolutely amazing. And there have been other people who understood without the direction and the teaching and the studying that Ernest Holmes did, and Ernest Holmes recognized them. P.P. Quimby is one of them. He was in the last century, but he actually figured things out without anybody telling him things. He just had this seat of the pants, using hypnosis and all kinds of things to put together. But he came together with very elemental truths about how we are. He even came to understand that we have a conscious way of doing things, and then there's part of us that's subconscious that we respond from. And that's that emotional part of us sometimes. And when we respond negatively with anger, with worry, with fear, with any of those emotional reaction things, that is the time when we want to take a step back from our reacting. Not from the truth, not from what's happening, but from our reaction. And think about what it is that I'm really reacting to. Now, the psychologists will tell us that if we are responding in anger, then at some point in our youth or childhood, we had something that angered us so much, and we go back and touch that in a subconscious way, and it erupts when something resembles what happened to us. And that happens to many of us. That's why people go see a therapist. That's why you talk to a practitioner. That's why you practice things. And you can also simply sit in contemplation with your own consciousness, with your own way of being. You can sit with that in the quiet or in nature so that you're allowing those spiritual downloads. I know many of you are coming to the meditation before this class, this service, the 15 minutes from 10:30 to 10:45, both on Wednesday and on Sunday. 15 minutes is time. There's nothing disturbing you. You can just sit with your own feeling, your own thinking, and allow all of that to process. That's one of the ways that you can get in touch. And David Walker said, every time you take a stand in your own mind about any emotionally charged issue, you take a stand and know the truth, you are providing an avenue through which truth can take form. Now, he is not telling you how to respond. He's saying to know the truth, and your understanding of the truth is how you get there. And as Ernest Holmes tells us, we can only operate at the level of understanding that we have. The God that I know is not necessarily the God you know. Each of us knows God as we understand God. And there's a limit. That's the condition. We are all divine. We are perfect within. We are unlimited, as God says. But we are conditioned by our level of understanding. When you know that and you think about how often in the history of man we have said, believed that they should be punished, they should be killed, they should have all things happen to them. Heck, I read it on Nextdoor almost every week. They should be put in jail. Because we believe that level, they should be punished. God does not punish us. We can know that truth even if sometimes we feel something else, but we can know that God loves us just as we are. There's a wonderful hymn in the Christian faith that's called Just As I Am. And that just as I am is the way I am loved. That's the way I am accepted. I am never judged, never punished. Yes, there are consequences for things I do and say. But that's not judgment. It's not punishment, even when it feels that way. Whatever's going on that we don't like, we can remember that Persian proverb that says, "This too shall pass." I read a sign somewhere that said, "This too shall pass." It may feel like passing a kidney stone, but this too shall pass. All conditions are temporary. And in our own lives, we hold on to them as long as we choose to hold on to them. I find myself at times not liking something. How many of you find things you don't like? Yeah, I think that would be all of us. There are things we don't like. But one of the things, I take a step back from that, well, this affects a lot of people. How do I know what's the best thing for everyone? Now, isn't that a fair question to ask? And so with what is going on in the world, there may be plenty of things to not like. I totally accept that there are things we don't like. But at the same time, what is at this moment in time is something that was called for by a collective consciousness that none of us understands, whether we like it or don't like it. There is a consciousness that's happening, and this too shall pass. And so whatever it is that we're thinking, even if it's a kidney stone, knowing the truth helps us all to know that what passes, what comes, and what evolves is a lifted way of being. And that's the second part of this, that we respond in a way that contains the truth as we understand it. And I think that we can all do this. I know that everybody doesn't need to be punished, that they should go to jail, they should get this, somebody should have, karma's going to get them. I read all this stuff just on Nextdoor. And yet, it helps me to know that I reject that. It's an education in that way. There are also people who know the truth on Nextdoor, to be fair. They absolutely do, and respond in a beautiful way. So I want to be like water flowing down the mountain. And I want to be seeking the sea, which is that great sea of consciousness that we join. And I want to be that flexible, but at the same time knowing those principles, the truth, to the level of my understanding, and express it in the absolute best way that I can. And so what I know for all of us is that we make a commitment to ourselves to be our best selves, not tomorrow, but today and right now, because we all are in this sea of consciousness together. I love all of you. I very much appreciate your being here today, and I thank you for your attention. Thank you. Thank you. So now we are going to do things that we do at our service, which is an opportunity to give back to this center, which is giving so many wonderful things. We have an absolutely beautiful center that's unfolding as we are going every day. And everything you give goes to this place, all our programs and all the things we did. Ruthie is going to pass the plate, and we are going to look at the ways that we can give. I, like Reverend Gregory, I give mine online, but I have given in those ways just to test them out, and they all work, and they all work just fine, and so does that cash in the plate. So everything works, and there are many ways to give. And so thank you for doing all of those things, and so let's share our affirmation of our gift. And whether you give online or you're giving right now, I encourage you to hold that gift to your heart as we say, divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, to bless, and to prosper all those who give and all those who receive. I rejoice in the sharing of my good, and I release my gift with love, and so it is.
Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, Gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful, 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 I'm so grateful. Your gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful, 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 I'm so grateful.
Elise, thank you very much. Many of you may remember when Dr. Sharon was here, she had motions to go with that. Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, left, right, all of that. So I was thinking that, but I decided not to dance for you. So you can be grateful for that too. So does anyone have a question, have a comment, have a prayer request? And we have, I think the wonderful Carl is going to be moving that microphone around if anyone wants to have a question, and I will do my best to handle all of it. Oh, all the way over here. Yeah, make him walk. It's a great thing to have comments and questions. It enriches everyone when anyone has a question.
My friend Anne recently had corneal transplant, and it's a recovery process, and so a prayer for her speedy recovery. The surgery was a success.
Say again about the trust fund?
A corneal transplant. Her eye had a cornea that was torn.
Oh, I've had that. I've definitely had that. You want prayer for that?
She's on the recovery, speedy recovery.
Okay. So I know that as this, I don't remember the name, Anne. As Anne is moving forward in her surgery, as she is moving into this wonderful experience and having this transfer that transforms her life, I know that there is joy, there's so much peace, and there's wonderful, perfect healing, perfect precision in the hands of the surgeon, and for the anesthetists, and for the nurses, and for all of the servants that are there, simply to make this whole experience absolutely divine and perfect. And as she comes through this, opening her eyes and seeing as she's never seen in a long time. And so I know that it's absolutely perfect. It's so easily done in the mind of God, and it's done in Anne, and I know that it's perfect, as we all agree and say. And so it is. Thank you for the request. Thank you. Anyone else? We're a quiet group. Well, I'm okay. No, we have time. Are you sure no one has a question? Then we are cool today. Okay. Thank you all for being here.